Hello yogis, and welcome to our 30-minute flow for today. My name is Katie. I'm one of the yoga instructors with the JCC, and today we have a 30-minute gentle flow, and we're going to be focusing on the heart, opening up the chest and the hips. So 30-minute gentle heart and hips flow. For this practice, you will need 1 or 2 blocks, ideally 2. If you have a book, that's okay too. And then 1 strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a tie, a towel, just something that would enable you to grip onto 2 ends of it to give you a little bit of assistance there. I did create a playlist for this class. If you want to click on the JCC's Facebook page, you could find it linked there. Also the option to just listen to the sounds around you or to listen to your own music. So to start, we're going to get started on our backs, and we're going to find a fish pose if that is comfortable for you. So for the fish pose, you're basically going to have the block lying at the base of the cervical spine, so where the thoracic spine starts, so basically where the shoulders are. So you can just kind of place it like a T, well, like a block on the mat. And just kind of lie it back onto it so that your shoulders open up over it. The head comes down. You want to ensure that this does feel comfortable for you though. So you feel that opening sensation in the chest. Maybe you want to place 1 hand on the belly, 1 hand on the heart. You can bring the legs together. Maybe you want to extend them long, like Shavasana. And from here, just starting to settle into your breath. Feeling the rise of your belly with each inhale. Releasing any stress, any tension that you're feeling with each exhale. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the body, maybe you don't realize it. You can soften the hips, softening the belly, letting the shoulders melt even more around the block. Soften the jaw. Take 2 more breaths. Excellent. From here, roll onto your side just so you can remove that block from underneath you if you have it there. And then from here, just bend the knees. You're going to bring the knees side to side. This little stretch here in the lower abdominals. And from here, bending that right knee, planting that right foot, take that left ankle to that right thigh, figure 4, reclined pigeon pose. So just hanging out here for a breath to start. You're flexing that foot to protect that left knee. Maybe you want to start to push that left thigh away with that left hand. Still have that right foot planted on the ground. The next breath, you can start to bring that right shin parallel. Right foot rises and is flexed so that you bring that right knee in towards you. Start to thread those hands under and through. Find that backside of the right thigh. And then from here, as that right thigh comes towards you, you're using that left elbow to push that left thigh away. So really starting to work into that left hip joint. So staying here for 3 breaths. So sending that energy to that left hip. Feeling that left hip stretching. Take 1 more nice breath. So from here, release that hold. Just extend both legs long up to the ceiling. A little waterfall pose here at the beginning of the practice. Maybe noticing the difference between the sides that you might have. Then from here, you're going to bend that left knee, plant that left foot on your mat. Take that right ankle to that left thigh. And just staying here for a few breaths. Maybe you want to take that right hand, push that right thigh away. You can close your eyes. One more breath here. And so from here, start to intensify. You're going to have that left shin rise. Left foot is flexed parallel to the mat. Thread those hands under and through. That left thigh comes closer to you as you use that right elbow to push that right thigh away from you. This time working the outside of that right hip. Maybe you feel a little more tension on this side. But just observing what's happening in your body. Noticing what thoughts are coming on as you start to work into the hips. 2 more breaths. Excellent. So from here, extend both legs up towards the ceiling. Waterfall pose. Just 1 breath. From here, your hands could find the undersides of the thigh. We're just going to rock and roll up to a nice, comfortable, easy seat. You can do 1 or 2 rolls or maybe however many rolls you want. That feels good. We're coming to that nice, easy seat. So starting to move a little bit more into the heart, the chest. You're going to take that strap. So to start, why don't you take that strap in that right hand. You're going to reach around. Give yourself a pat on the back with that right hand. And the important thing here is to ensure that right shoulder is reaching up. So we're not hunching over. So that right shoulder is nice and open. And from here, take that left hand, reach it behind you. So maybe you're going to find your hands. So we're finding archer arms. So maybe your hands are clasping. And if they're not, that's okay too. You have the strap or the towel or whatever you have to get that opening sensation in that right shoulder. So you can go ahead, close your eyes. So if you have the clasp with the hands, but it's forcing you to kind of bend forward a little bit, release the clasp, let the props assist you in the pose. Just meeting your body where it is today. One more breath. Excellent. Releasing the strap from that right hand. This time you have that strap in the left hand. You're going to reach around with that left hand and give yourself a pat on the back. With that left hand this time, that right hand reaches around and back. So maybe you find the hands behind you this time. Maybe you use that strap. Just ensuring that you have that left shoulder opening up and away from your ears, from the body. You can close the eyes. Take one more nice breath here. Excellent. Releasing the strap. Going to come to that tabletop position. So stacking your joints, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. You can either have the tops of your feet on the mat or you can go to the balls of your feet. I tend to feel a little more grounded on the balls of the feet. We're going to flow here with cat-cow. So you can inhale, lower the belly, heart comes forward, tailbone up towards the ceiling. As you find that cow pose. As you exhale, really push that mat away. Feel the shoulders separating away from one another. Tailbone is tucked in that cat pose. So you're moving at your pace here, slow or as fast as your body is telling you, taking whatever additional movement feels good. So maybe you just want to rock the hips, maybe find some circles. So we're going to take 2 more cycles of breath in this cat-cow. Excellent. From here, make your way back to that neutral tabletop. You have that nice long spine. And you're just going to bring that right knee to that right wrist crease and then step that right foot through for that low lunge. So right knee, right wrist crease. Plant that right foot between the hands. So you're on that left knee. And then from here, coming to that low lunge. So you might want to grab your 2 blocks. Because in addition to low lunge, we're also finding a half split, so it is helpful to have the blocks to assist you through these poses. So in that low lunge, you're bringing that right hip back, left hip forward. So to start, you just want to focus on lengthening through that left hip. Since this is a heart and hips practice, maybe you want to place your hands on the small of your back. That brings the heart, chest opening. If you need to place your hands on the blocks, though, feel free to go there. So we're focusing on that left hip. You also have the option to take that right hand down to that left thigh. That gives you that heart opening sensation through that right shoulder. And if you go there, maybe that left arm wants to extend up towards the ceiling. So working on that left hip flexor and opening up that right side. 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath. From here, you're shifting forward. You're going to come to those blocks or books. So we're going to find the half split. So from here, you're sinking back towards that left heel. I gotta find, I usually have my blanket. All right, go through it. So you're sinking back towards that left heel. That right foot flexes up and towards you. So you can have the hands on the blocks here because you want to have, you don't want to sink back yet. You want to have that left hip stacked over that left knee. Right toes flexed towards you, nice long spine, and you're going to hinge forward over that right front leg. So you're using the breath, so with each exhale, your chest gets a little bit heavier towards that right leg. And that next breath, maybe you want to sink back a little bit towards that left heel so you don't have that hip stacked aligned with that left knee anymore. Take 2 more breaths. Excellent. The next inhale, coming back to that low lunge. You just place the blocks, 1 on each side. And you come back to that tabletop position. Do a cat-cow here, in between sides. Excellent. Back to that neutral tabletop. And then from here, you're going to bring that left knee to that left wrist crease, then just plant that left foot between the hands. That right knee slides back just a little bit. We're working to that right hip flexor this time. So setting up the blocks, you're going to come here. You're going to start to rise up so that you have that right hip pulling forward, left hip pulling back. You can use the blocks to assist you if you need to, or maybe you want to place your hands on the small of your back. This time lengthening through that right hip flexor. Tailbones tucked under. If your hands are on the small of your back, shoulders away from the ears, heart is open. proud towards the ceiling. All the while sending your breath to that right hip. Right hip is coming forward, left hip back. Maybe you want to take that left into that right thigh. Maybe that feels a little more awkward for you on this side. I know it does for me. You're gazing over that left shoulder as that right arm extends up towards the ceiling. So keeping that left shoulder nice and open, away from the ears. Take 2 more breaths. Sending that breath to that right hip. From here, finding that half split. So using those blocks to assist you, you're hinging back. Left toes flex towards the face. That right hip is stacked over that right knee. You're lengthening out from the hip and then folding over that left leg. Shoulders away from the ears. Each exhale, sinking a little bit closer to that left leg. Let that head hang heavy if that feels good for you. Maybe you want to start to sink back towards that right heel now. Take one more breath. Excellent. From here, back to that low lunge. Move the blocks out of the way. Come back to that tabletop position. Take a cat-cow here, because why not? Always feels good. From here, coming back to that chest, heart, shoulders. We're going to find a melting heart pose. So hips, knees stay as they are, nice and stacked. And you walk the hands forward like you're finding that child's pose. So hands walk forward. You can place your forehead either on the mat or on a block. Such a nice shoulder stretch. So keeping those hips stacked over the knees. Shoulders retracting down away from the ears. Take 2 more breaths. Excellent. From here, coming back to that tabletop. From here, we're going to just lower down on the knees. So you come to those knees, you're shifting forward, and then just lowering down, elbows graze the ribs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down to the mat. From here, we're going to open up that shoulder, chest. You are extending the left arm up towards the top left corner of the room on the belly. From here, plant that right hand down. Then from here, you're rolling onto that left side as that right foot just steps back behind you. This might be a little intense for you. If that is the case, you can come back, extend the arm out like a T, and step that right foot behind you that way. So fun. And if that is too intense, because this is a pretty intense heart shoulder opener, you can also just place that left arm down towards that bottom left corner of the room. So try it that way. So whatever feels the best for you. We're going to be here for 3 breaths and then come to that other side. Just really focusing on that sensation. Maybe it doesn't, as long as there's no pain, like this might not feel pleasant. Might be working into something. Take 1 more breath. Excellent. From here, rolling back onto the belly. Bring both arms beside you, palms facing up. You can come to that left or right ear. All right, from here we're going to come to the right side. So this side might feel completely different, so maybe you can extend that right hand towards the top right corner of the room. You're rolling onto that right side as that left foot steps back behind you. Maybe that feels good. If not, you can bring your arm like a T or down towards that bottom right corner of the room. But wherever you are, we have 3 breaths. So from here, we're going back onto the belly. And from here, we're going to come up and back to a downward facing dog. So hips come up and back, bending the knees, a lot to start. Shoulders away from the ears, pushing that mat away. Heels start to strain through the legs as those heels get heavy. And then from here, you're going to inhale, right leg extends up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, right knee to that right wrist crease. Plant that right shin down. Don't worry about getting it parallel with the front of your mat. That does not matter. You're flexing that right foot to protect the knee. That does matter. And then glance behind you. Make sure you have that left hip in line with that left knee, left ankle. Maybe you want to block to place it underneath that right side to kind of give the hips a break. So we're going to come to our half pigeon pose, and we're going to take 5 breaths here. So first take that nice tall spine. And then as you exhale, fold forward over that right shin. Maybe you're coming just to the forearms. But whatever you do, you're softening the face. You're not clenching the jaw. Softening that right hip. Don't want to tense up there either. Maybe you're releasing all the way down to the mat. That right hip is coming back. Left hip's coming forward to keep those hips in the alignment that we want. So take 4 more breaths. One more nice breath here, softening that jaw, releasing the tension in that right hip. So from here, walking your hands back up towards you. So you can stay here in this tall pigeon, proud pigeon. If you'd like to go for the heart opener, you're going to call this mermaid pose, but that's really not what it's called. Just usually feel like a mermaid. So you are bending that left knee towards you. Plant that left hand underneath the sternum. And you're going to take that right arm behind you and start to find that right. This is your left foot with the right hand. So if you're here, great. If you're not, just take that strap, also great. Use it like a lasso to kind of around the foot. And go there too. Ooh, really feel wherever you are though, or you're just hanging out in that nice tall pigeon, it's okay too. But if you have that foot or you're attempting to get that foot, you're really going to feel a nice stretch in that left quadricep, the front of your leg. Lots of sensation there. Also get that opening in that right side. One more breath. All right, you're going to release that foot down. You're going to step that right foot back, come to that downward dog. We're going to move on to that left side. So if you took that quadricep stretch, you're going to bend straight through the legs. Notice how different the right side feels from the left. Right, from here, that left knee comes forward to that left wrist crease. Plant that left shin down. Again, making sure that you're in alignment, and then come to that nice proud pigeon. Maybe you want that block underneath that left side. If this feels good, that's great too. So inhale that nice tall spine, and exhale, hinge forward over that left shin. 5 breaths here. You're bringing that right hip forward, left hip back this time. Releasing that tension that you're feeling in that left side. Send your breath there. Can you soften your jaw? Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Take one more breath. So from here, walk your hands up towards you. So coming to that mermaid pose. On this side, that right hand is planted under that right sternum in alignment. Then you're bending that right knee towards you. Maybe you have the strength to give a little lasso to that right foot, or you can start to reach that left hand around back to that right foot. Finding your inner mermaid. So feel that stretching sensation through the front of that right leg, that opening in that left shoulder this time. The full expression of this pose, if you really want to get crazy. Legs are pretty tight. I don't know if I could go there, but you get that left foot in that right, or that right foot in that left elbow crease. Been cycling too much to do that though. All right, one more breath. All right, release that foot down. We come back to that downward dog. From here, lower down to the knees. So the peak heart opening, I don't know why I did it for heart opening, but the peak heart opening pose that we're going to find today is camel pose. So blocks might be helpful for this. So for camel pose, you are taking those 2 fists. So you're on your knees, taking those 2 fists in between the legs. That gives you that leg distance that you want. And you're coming up to that full extension from the knees. So you can come to the balls of the feet. You can take a block. Start just finding half camel, then going on to full camel. So your tailbone is tucked, your core is engaged, so that navel is in towards the spine to protect the lower back, to protect the core. The shoulders are away from the ears. So from here, right hand comes behind you to that right block, so you can see that opening that's happening, or to that right heel. If you have a lot of flexibility in the spine, maybe you're going to lower that right foot and bring that right hand down to that right heel. And then you can just extend that left arm up and back. If you find the back bend here, keep the eyes open. It's a really big heart opening pose. This really activates the throat chakra, really kind of brings up some sort of intense feelings and sensations. So just staying with it, one more breath. And then you're going to rise up out of that. The natural inclination is to fold forward. That's what I want to do right now, but you don't do that. You just sink back and sit with it for a few breaths. Excellent. Let's move on to that other side. So coming to the left side this time. Take that block or the ball of the foot, or maybe you have that foot down. So again, core is engaged, tailbone is tucked, protecting that low back. And then you're going to bring that left hand either to that block. You're still getting that back bend here, that heart opening sensation. Ball that left foot or to that left foot as that right arm extends up towards the ceiling. Head comes back. Eyes are open. One more breath. To release, engage that core. Hands up to the small of the back. And you're sinking back towards those heels. Not holding forward. Blocks are falling. So, final pose. Finding that full camel, Ustrasana. Finding that proper space. Maybe you come to the balls of the feet. Or you have both blocks behind you, whatever feels good for you. You're going to reach that right hand behind you to start. That neck starts to come, head starts to fall back. Then you reach that left hand behind you. Tailbone is tapped, core is engaged, hips coming forward. 2 more breaths. From here, one hand comes up to the small of the back, then the other. And you're sinking down into that nice, easy seat. So just 2 twists here. Every yoga practice should have some twists in it. So you're going to come to that right side first. So just inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. You're hinging towards that right side. Left hand finds that right thigh, right fingertips behind you as you gaze over that right shoulder. Just take 1 breath. Inhale up to center. Let's find that left side. Right hand, left thigh. Left fingertips behind you, gazing over that left shoulder. Inhale your arms up to center. Exhale your hands to heart center. We'll take 2 breaths here to seal our practice. So you're going to inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling your hands to heart center. Inhaling and exhaling. You can place your thumbs along your sternum, tucking your chin towards your chest, thanking your body for carrying you through this practice. Gentle but intense, and carrying you through your days. I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to flow with us here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Namaste.